Okay, let's get started here. First, I wanted to introduce myself to you. My name is James Kaysen. I'm one of the librarians on the Leesburg campus. My office is up here in case you take any classes on the Leesburg campus if you want to stop by and talk to me in person about anything. My email is kaysenj@lssc.edu. I like giving that information out because, especially with an online class, if you're working on the library resources from home and run into any problems or have questions, I want you to have a way of getting in touch with me. So if you have any issues or questions about the material I'm talking about today, when you're working at home, feel free to send me an email. Usually during the week you should get a reply back within 24 hours. If it's the weekend, it may be Monday when I get back into the office. But if you're having like an emergency accessing information, or you have a deadline coming up and have a question, I have my phone, my college email going to my phone. So if I see it's an emergency, I'll probably get a reply back to you as soon as I can. So if it is on the weekend, let me know you need a reply back in a hurry, and I'll be able to do that for you. Today we'll talk about a few things that'll help you for this class. I'm going to show you a little bit about the library website. It may be a refresher for some of you from other classes, but I'll point out the areas you need to go for important information that'll help you for this class. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our virtual reference service that we have to give you additional help. We'll go in and look at some of the best databases to use for ENC 2300. Then I'll show you where our citation resources are located, and then if you have any questions, we'll have some time to do that, question and answers. So here's a screenshot of the library webpage. We're going to go to this live in just a second. The web address for the page is the college web address, lssc.edu, and then /library. So you may want to bookmark that on your computer, or make a note somewhere that's the address you'll go to get to the library page. And then on the page, the important areas to look for finding articles for this class, in the blue box up at the top left, the third tab, Find Articles. You'll click into that to get a search box, and also be able to get to a list of our databases that we have. Below that, under the Research Help heading, the second link, Citation Center, is where we have a lot of information for MLA formatting, your citations, as well as your papers. And I'll show you that near the end of the session today. And then over to the right of the blue box, in the gray box, is the link into our chat reference, our virtual reference. And this is available during the hours the Leesburg campus library is open. And anytime you see the box that says chat is online, if you click on that, it'll open up a live chat session with someone here at Lake-Sumter who will be able to help you with the questions that you have. We used to be a part of a service that when you clicked in, you could have been talking to a librarian in another college or a public library anywhere around the state. But we opted to go with this because you'll be able to talk to one of us. We know our resources, we know the projects you're working on, so you'll be able to get help every time you log in to talk to one of us. Okay, so now here's the part that's always tricky, because I don't know how the computer's going to react. Hopefully it'll do what I want to do today. But I'm going to send you over live to the library page. So let's see here. Okay, the limitation of when I share this page with you is I can't see the chat box. So if anyone has any problem seeing, if you don't see the library webpage right now, if you could go onto your microphone and let me know. But hopefully that's shared with you all. Okay. All right, it sounds nobody's saying anything, so that's a good sound. So again, like I showed you on the screen capture, the third tab in the blue box for finding articles, the chat reference over here, the citation center. Let's go in and look at some of the databases that'll help you out for ENC 2300. I'm going to click on the Find Articles tab. And what I'm given here is a quick search that'll search many databases at one time. This is good if you just want to see what information is out there on a particular topic. But what I want to do to show you some specific databases is click on the Databases A to Z link that's over to the left of that search box. All right, and on this list you probably see things that you recognize like Academic Search Complete or General One file from ENC 1101. And the database, the first database I'm going to show you, you may have actually used in some of the other classes depending on the kind of projects you had. But I can get to it one of two ways. I can click on the letter O to jump down to that part of the list, or I can just scroll down until I get to the letter O. And I'm going to click on the letter to jump down. And the database we're going to look at is called Opposing Viewpoints in Context. This one is a very good database for pro-con research. So if you have a topic where you're taking a side on a particular issue, this database will give you a lot of information that's geared towards either one side or the other of an argument. So I'm going to click on this to get into it. We're going to do open a new tab where I don't lose my window sharing. And in the login information, it's your XID for your borrower ID and your 6-digit birth date, month, day, and the last two of the year for the PIN. All right, and let's see if we get this in the same window. Yeah. Okay, with opposing viewpoints, there are a couple of ways you can search for information in this database. In the dark gray bar that's right under the logo for the database, there's a link that's called Browse Issues. And if I click on that, it's going to give me topics or subjects for topics that are popular right now. So they go through and they give me these different areas. And if I click on any one of these, say for, let's see, let's do bioterrorism. If I click on that link, it's going to give me a page of information, and for each one of those links, the pages will be set up in this format. At the top will be a little summary of the topic to give you an idea. And then as you scroll down the page, there are boxes of different types of information. And if you remember from the information literacy tutorial, there are strengths and weaknesses to each type of source. And you learned a little bit about the different types of sources, and you can see how these match up to what we talked about in the tutorial. The first two boxes, featured viewpoints and viewpoints, these are essays written by people who are knowledgeable in the area, and they take a stand on that particular issue. So they show me the top three for each box. If I wanted to see all of them, I could click on the View All link right up in the top right of the box. And then you can notice by the titles, Project BioShield does not keep Americans any safer. Project BioShield is necessary to keep Americans safe. The titles themselves tell you a little bit about what point of view the writer is taking on that issue. So if I do bioterrorism poses a serious threat, if I click into that, in many of the articles, the viewpoints in the first paragraph or two, they will tell you a little bit about who the author was, or who the author is, and a little bit about their background. And remember, that's important for understanding the bias of the article, so you can understand if it's extreme bias, if it's more balanced, or that kind of thing. And then let me scroll down to the bottom here to show you one thing that's in this database. At the bottom of every article in this database, there is a source citation written in MLA format. Gale, the people who own this database, the computer program they've created to put together the citation, is usually pretty good. Most of the time there are not any errors in the citation. The one thing I'd say to look for is capitalization issues. Sometimes they'll capitalize a minor word when it shouldn't be, like an of or an a or the. In this case, the a in the title, Bioterrorism Poses a Serious Threat, that's capitalized correctly. Sometimes they may capitalize that, and you'll have to go in and fix that. But for the most part, they get these fairly correct. And you can use the citation resources I'm going to show you in a little bit to compare what they give you to make sure you get everything in the right format. And then for each article in the database, you have a way to download it. You can email it or print it. So those are the export tools over on the top right. Let me go back. And on the page for that topic, as you scroll down the different areas, academic journals, tells me that there's 85 of those, 1,500 newspaper articles, different primary sources, 109 magazine articles, reference articles. And then they have websites that they've gone through and evaluated to make sure that the information is correct and good for this topic. Back up here and back. If you don't see on the Browse Issues list a topic, a subject for what you're researching, up in the top right corner there's a search box, and this will let you search for terms related to what you're writing about in your paper. So let's see if I can think of something that wouldn't be a topic. Let's see. Well, if we do this, let me see what it gives me. No. Let's see here. All right. So instead of climate change, if I went a little bit more broad and just search for weather, you get a page that's broken down somewhat like the topic pages, the subject pages, but they're not boxed, not boxes, but you'll get a list of things. So the first thing it'll tell me, these viewpoints have to do with weather, journal articles, primary sources, so you get the same kind of information, just formatted a little bit differently. Okay, let me go out of application sharing for just a second. And do any of you have any questions about opposing viewpoints? It's a fairly straightforward database to use. I like the fact that they give you topics to choose from that are fairly broad, and you can go in and kind of dig down and find the information that's suitable for what you're writing about. Okay, let me go back and push out one more page to you. And before I go into another database, I'll just point out the fact that databases you may have used before, like Academic Search Complete for ENC 1101, it's a valid database to use for this class. You can go in and think about the main topic you're researching and how you're focusing on it, your point of view, link those concepts together with the word and in search and see what kind of articles you get back. The subject databases, if your paper topic falls within a business topic or education, we have the subject databases in those areas, and those are good places to go to find information as well. Now, the other pro-con database that we have that I wanted to show you is called SIRS Issues Researcher. And I can either click on the letter S or scroll down. I'll click on S. And it's right about in the middle of the box of the S databases. We'll go ahead and click on that. Oops. Let's do this. And SIRS is set up very similar to opposing viewpoints. The leading issues are listed in a box right here on the front page. The top 10 pro-con issues are listed here by icon, and those kind of rotate as things get more popular. And when I click on a particular issue, say alcohol use, again, like with opposing viewpoints, I get a little bit of a background on the topic. And as I scroll down, it shows me the different source types, that there are 353 newspapers, 95 magazines, 22 viewpoints, 2 reference, and 92 graphics. And I can click on this to filter the results list just to those that type. If I wanted to look at the magazines, I could click on that. And then I get my 95 magazines. Each article has a little summary that talks about what it's about, and then I could click on the link, the title, to get into the full text. And again, up at the top, you've got ways to print and email the article out. So those are the two main argument databases that we have. Like I said, again, feel free to try anything out on the list that you think that might fit what you're researching. But those are the two best ones that we have for you. Now let me go back over to the library page, the main page. And then show you the last area I want to talk about, which was the Citation Center. And when you go into the Citation Center, the top left box has our MLA information. We have our citation guide, which starts off talking about how to do your in-text citations, and then it goes on to show you how to set up your works cited entries, and then this is broken down by the type of format that you have. So if you have a book, you can pick as a book in print from a database, a website. We have the same thing for articles. So for opposing viewpoints and SIRS and the other databases. Here's the different examples for those. And then we have all kinds of examples of how the citation should look. And I will tell you at this point, if you have questions about citing a certain article out of the database, send me an email, send me what you have, and I can take a look at it and make sure that it's in the correct format, and even with your whole works cited page. When you're ready, before you're ready to turn in a paper, if you want me to check the works cited page, send that to me, and I can take a look at that as well. We also have an MLA sample paper. And that goes through and shows you the proper format, and the text of the paper also tells you how to set everything up. So as you read through, you get the instructions for setting up the paper. And then we also have information on annotated bibliographies. If you have to do one for the class, we have different examples of those. And we also have an example of how to do an outline in MLA format. So let me go out of application sharing. All right, and that's the basics of what I have for you, or what we have for this class. Again, the big thing is, if you run into any problems or have any questions, feel free to email me. Feel free to use the chat. That's what we're here for, to make sure you're successful in your classes. So if you have anything you need to ask, let me know. That's what I'm here for. And then finally, before we wrap things up and finish, does anyone have any questions about anything we covered today? All right. Well, I thank you for logging in to view my presentation. We will be turning this into a recording, and Professor Reitz will put this into Blackboard for you to review at if you need to review it at a later date. So with that, like I said, thank you for joining, and we are all done.